On the Radio is brought to you by Zurich Insurance, the perfect place to catch up with all things Melbourne. If you enjoy this content and want more inside access from the team, make sure you visit the club website.
The Toyota Good for Footy raffle is helping football clubs to raise much needed funds. Tickets are just $5 through your local club's Good for Footy raffle page. Visit toyotagoodforfooty.raffletix.com.au. Now that's good for footy.
Stephen May, what sort of a year has he had?
Average, just an average year.
Top of the table Demons. He's going beautifully. 2 more games to go. They're in some sort of a lockdown at the moment.
They are. Is he still huffing and puffing? Because Kendi took him all over the park on Monday night.
No, he's not.
Has he pulled up okay?
He's got another scalp to his belt. He joins us on the line. Maisie, welcome.
Hey, Gaz. Hey, Tim. How are you, fellas?
Well, nice to talk. Tim reckons you were huffing and puffing.
Yeah, no, thankfully it was a wet night, so there wasn't too much running involved for me down the other end.
Hey, explain to us the situation you're in now. You've sat on the tarmac for half a day, you've gone over to Perth, you come back and you're playing Adelaide, and you've got to go into a bit of a bubble yourselves if you're able to play Adelaide. What's that all about?
Yeah, look, I think it's got something to do with Adelaide being able to come here and play us. So we're in before we played the Gold Coast, we went into probably a 24-hour isolation bubble, I suppose, where you just can't leave your house. And now with the Adelaide game, it's for the next few days, so all the way from today till Sunday. So, and we've got to do 3 COVID tests before the game. So there's a bit going on to keep the season alive, but I feel like we're nearly there. So, we've certainly had our challenges, or I suppose a bit of adversity in terms of travel and games being changed. But I suppose when you keep winning, there's no excuses. The prep goes out the window when you can get stuffed around a fair bit, but still come out and perform. So that's sort of our attitude at the moment.
So no captain's run for you blokes?
Well, we can. So we can go to the club today just for physio.
Yep.
And then on Saturday we come in, captain's run, team meeting, another COVID test, and then game day, COVID test, game. And then another COVID test on the Tuesday, and don't ask me why that one's for, but I think that's just a follow-up from the game. So, there's a bit going on. We just do as we're told.
No, there's a lot going on, and everybody out there in the community is doing it really tough at the moment, and we know that. We talked about this early in the week, and the idea of where this final series might be played. Now, you guys are definitely going to be playing finals. Where you finish on the ladder is yet to be decided, but you'll definitely be playing in the finals. If you had a choice of playing at the MCG in front of no one or going and playing somewhere else, what would you choose? In front of a crowd, I'm talking about. If you went and played somewhere else and there was a crowd, or you play in front of the MCG, no crowd, what would you prefer as a player?
Oh, I mean, as a player, it's a tough one for me. Before I came to Melbourne, I really wanted to call the MCG my home, coming to the Ds and playing at the MCG. But with the no crowds, it's proving to be, it's not as enticing, I suppose. And even on the weekend, when we played it in Perth, and we're getting booed, the boos were better than silence, so the crowd's definitely a factor. But I suppose we wouldn't really want to have to, if we had to play Port, to say, at their home ground, even though we finished higher, that would probably not be as fair. So hopefully we can get this stuff under control and the crowds can start coming back, because playing a final at the G in front of our home fans would just sort of be a dream come true. So it's a tough one, and there's no guarantee if the game was moved to Adelaide, right? This COVID can pop up the day of the game and cancel the crowd anyway. So you'd be playing an away game against a team that you finished higher than. So, yeah, it's a tough one, Tim. I'm not quite sure, mate, but I'd love to play at the G, let's put it that way.
It's a nice problem to have, and it is for the supporters as well. Steve was talking to Steve May. You've got a nice, tight group down there in that back six. They've been well regarded all year. Everyone's talked about how well the backline's playing, and there's lots of components to that, of course. But I watch you too. You drive them pretty hard, which I really enjoy. I mean, you don't mind just yelling and getting your point across. I mean, does everyone receive that in the way it's meant to be taken?
Man, it's definitely been a journey, Gaz. When I first came down, I suppose my natural sort of demeanour on field. It's a little bit more old school, a little bit more ruthless, and today's game it's a little bit more loving and nurturing. So I've had to work on that, which I've gotten heaps better at, and I can pump my own tyres up. But I suppose I think the thing is once you get to know your teammates a bit better and understand them, and they understand you, and they understand how competitive I am, and it might be a blunt message, but I always follow up, and it comes from a place of care, and it's because I want to win.
Yeah.
And we're winning. So now all those conversations that we'd had early while we were, I suppose, reshuffling our backline and our standards and our expectations in the backline, we're holding up. We're playing well. We've been a really solid backline, and we're winning. So now that tough love's sort of gone because everyone understands their role and their expectations that not only that I have of myself, but that they have of themselves, and we're going to hold each other accountable. So I think, along with Simon Goodwin and Troy Chaplin, the coaches, we've been able to establish, I suppose, a certain standard.
I love that, Tim. I love hearing that. That's setting a standard, that's driving it hard and getting it to the stage where it doesn't have to be driven.
When did that really kick in for you, Stephen, did you think?
Well, when I came down, I was injured for the first half of the year, and I had my own issues, and then I came out and played, and I played with that. I was probably a little bit more aggressive, but the thing is, I don't think I really had the respect of my teammates yet, or they didn't understand me yet, so they thought it was a bit more of a personal attack on field.
Yeah.
And then as I've gotten to know the boys more, and obviously trained and played more, and they, I suppose you just build that like really good camaraderie, and we get to know each other off field. So then on-field conversations are 10 times easier. And now it's, I suppose it's been a learning process the whole time. So when would you say when? I suppose maybe last year in the hub, because we were stuck together every day, and we had some sit-down sessions, and you do those sort of leadership meetings where you get to dig a bit deeper into everyone's lives, and then they understand, wow, this guy, he's not doing it because he's just an angry man. Footy, he really wants to win, and he feels like he's running out of time, and so they understand me a bit more. So, but no doubt, it's been a bit on me as well in terms of how I've delivered my feedback. But now I feel like I don't have to do that anymore, and it's a great feeling.
The whole conversation, I was probably meaning more about even the selflessness. Like everybody says, okay, this is our statement of play. And I know Max came out very early in the piece and talked about, okay, this is what we want to do. As a player, when did you feel, okay, yeah, we're actually living this. These aren't just words anymore. I'm actually seeing, from my vantage point, I'm deep in the defence, I'm watching the field all the time. I'm actually seeing all this come into play, and the players actually acting on all these words.
Oh, yeah, no, totally. That would have been, I reckon, probably when we went into the Queensland hub last year, because we started the year pretty poorly. But once we went to the hub, we actually finished the year off well. We missed finals, based off percentage or a point or so. But I think we had these gun players like Clayton Oliver. He's my favourite player. He's a star. But his off-season goal when we came back was to be the best teammate he can be, not lead the league in contested possessions or not, be the best clearance player. And Christian Petracca the same. He came to me actively saying, I want you to drive me on defence. I don't know where to stand. Can you help put me in the right spot? And now he's taken intercept marks. And I suppose then you got Jack Viney, James Harms doing team roles when asked. You got our forwards who, you see like Jake Melksham comes in, has been out of the side, comes in, plays on McGovern and tries to take him out of the game. And obviously the back line's always a pretty selfless position because, you're just defending the most of the game. But I think it's just a whole of club approach. And I think Goody has, with our game plan and our culture, it's been all about team. All year has just been about team, and no games have been about any stats. It's been about trying to play front half football and trying to be the best teammates we can on defence. So it sounds really simple, I guess, like as if everyone's not doing that. But until everyone actually buys in and you see genuine joy in someone else doing well, and that's what I've seen from our midfielders. I've seen them genuinely be stoked for each other when someone else is best on ground. It's not a sort of, I want to have 30 this week and that sort of behaviour.
It's a great insight, really good insight, Steve. You would have defended and played on in match practice and at training, Wiedemann and Brown and Lukey Jackson. I mean, I don't want you to choose because that's not fair. But the strengths of Sam Wiedemann, for instance, who's not in at the moment. I mean, is he the potential to hold down a key forward post?
Yeah, I mean, in any given week, you sort of reshuffle that forward line and you think, oh, this is our forward line, and then a couple of weeks later, someone's putting their hand up and playing well, and maybe someone's a bit down on form, and bring in, for example, bring in Benny Brown, and then now he's starting to kick goals and find his feet. So. Guido's got his own strengths, he's a good pack mark. The thing is, he's pretty young and he's very eager to learn. And I think him, Tommy Mack and Benny Brown, and then Luke Jackson is just a young freak who's just finding his way. They've all got their own strengths, so it's not like they're sort of, it's not tick for tat, like you're not just swapping one in for another. It's sort of how we play. But I've got no concern if Guido came in to say this week or next week and had to play. I've got full confidence that he'd play that role of a key forward because they're very odd. They're not all the same key forward. They all have their own differences, but our game plan allows to all of them to fit into it.
Talking to key defender from the Demons, one of the best defenders in the competition, Stephen May. Who's the best forward out there at the moment and the most difficult forward to play on for you?
Oh, yeah. The best forward... Well, it's probably a hard one. Like obviously you got guys like Buddy Franklin and that who I've just always idolised and they've been with the sleepless nights I've had most of my career. So every time I see them, but I would say like the best sort of young hard player to play on is probably Aaron Norton. Just purely because if he the umpires are really hot on holding, so you're not allowed to hold. But if you let him run and jump, like good luck. He can fly over a pack. But then you got guys like the old vets like Tom Hawkins, who's just a beast of a guy, and you got to play him a certain way. And I suppose the ones that are really difficult, like JK, for example, Josh Kennedy on the weekend, in my notes before the game, I had 0 marks inside 50. Why? Because he doesn't miss. He gets a free kick and a mark inside 50. He kicks both of them, even from the boundary. I'm just like, far out. Like what can you do? So, and then there's a big Harry. I've only played on him a couple of times, but I think he's going to add a few more strings to his bow. And good luck to the young key defenders for the next 10 years. They're going to have their hands full with him.
Maisie, you're getting rave review feedbacks here. It's been a great chat. The Melbourne Footy Club are dedicating this match to its charity partner, which is the Reach Foundation, and every year they do this. So 2021, the campaign is titled Be Like Jim, and we're encouraging everyone to give $11 or multiples of to ensure that the Reach Foundation continue to do their unbelievable work that Jimmy started, and that is helping young kids get a start in life when they mightn't have all those resources available. So enjoy the footy, everyone, this weekend, if you're watching the Demons play particularly. But if you love Jim Steins like we do, donate at reach.org.au, $11 or 22 or 44, whatever you can afford, it'd be great. And Maisie, our final series is there in a couple of weeks' time. I know it's all great what the Demons have done up till now, but that's when the real hard work starts. So good on you, my friend. Thanks so much for being so open and honest this morning.
No worries, Gaz. Take care, Tim.
Go on, you, mate. You were great. Well done.
Stephen was here for the new McCafe blend, smooth, rich, and with a hint of sweet berry. Coffee fit for an Aussie.
I love when we find a player and you have a conversation like that. They answer the questions. They don't give any trade secrets away. They just give you an insight. He was so impressive. He was so impressive, Stephen May, this morning. Congratulations to the Melbourne Football Club or whoever is associated with the club in terms of the way that they're actually educating and schooling some of their players when they step up and talk to the media.
What a fantastic insight into leadership. I run a business of 70 people and it is exactly the same philosophy. You can have tough, honest conversations when you understand people and they understand you. It drives the behaviours of the group. That's Tom from Ivanhoe. Best player interview of 2021 has come through. What about that? That is, that's so good. He's a terrific fella. He had those issues. He was in the pub drinking beer, remember? When he was injured, and that caused a bit of a... But he's a leader.
He is a leader, and he's a very popular team member too. He was up there on the Gold Coast Suns, and I know other clubs that tried to recruit him because they loved what he was saying. He got himself fitter than he's ever been before. There were gaps in his game, but He's one of those really competitive guys that just wants to win and he wants to be part of success.
This round's AFL Record print edition is available on game day at newsagents, Coles and Coles Express. Also online via afl.com.au, the AFL app, sen.com.au and the SEN app. Proudly part of our Top Sport, official wagering part of the AFL Record. Gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-858-858. 100-858-858. 100-858.